Johannesburg, Proteas in the ODIs. He was expected to be here. The 20-year-old was committed. He was on the plane. He was sitting on the tarmac, and he just could not leave Durban to get here because of the flooding that was taking place. Our other guests tonight were holding thumbs. Wade van Niekerk's coach, Danny Anspoorter. You don't hear from her. She's lined up and she has committed. She's on the plane. She's in the air as we speak. And as she lands, she'll be rushed here. We'll try and get on the program before the end of the show because everyone wants to hear from the 75-year-old grandmother of 4 who has coached Wade van Niekerk to Olympic glory and world record status. Whether she can put in a sprinting performance herself from the airport to get here in time, that's something we'll have to discover. Does Danny Ann still have it in her? And then, looking at the bench, who has actually made it to studio today? We really did have a jam-packed show for you, and it will still be that because there he is, the Buccaneer. He is Issa Sarr, and the reason he's here is not to tell us about what's going on in Buccaneer, what happened with the coach. We might throw that in, but he's Senegalese. South Africa are playing Senegal on the weekend. He's an international. He's been called up by this coach that's coaching the team, so he can give us the insights as to what that team is all about and what we can expect when we take on the Lions of Teranga on Saturday as Bafana. Tips is sitting there with him. Tips, can I ask you for the weather report, please? How's the weather in there?
It's very hard because we are discussing. They want to sign me Pirate as a motivational speaker. So, yeah, Issa has to take the message there. How do you feel, man?
I'm feeling good.
Recovered from the 6-1. Back to you, Thomas.
Thank you for the weather report, Tips. I appreciate it. I hear it. Thank you. So, we also will be catching up in a very quick conversation with Bafana's new striker, the big tall man. You'll see a shot of him there. We will communicate with him. Lars, the 1-meter monster 9. I don't know how tall he is, but Lars Verdwyk is coming. We'll talk to him. We'll find out what he brings to the national team. So, here he is, BBK.
Timmy Thomas,
the Sunday Times sports editor. I'm surprised you made it. Floods here in Johannesburg. It was insane.
It is crazy, man. And I think before we even kick it off, if you've seen the pictures, I'm a newspaper man, I've seen how the floods, the rain that we've been praying for and hoping for to alleviate the drought that has hit the country has caused and wreaked serious havoc. People's cars are just swimming, drowning in the road. The highways are flooded and all of that. Let us hope that there hasn't been any loss of life, and cars are cars. The damage is going to happen. They can be replaced. But when people lose their lives, it's going to be a bit of a tragedy.
Let me tell you a story about
Tell me how you got Issa Sarr.
Yeah. Because Issa calls, says, Thomas, I'm stuck.
Yep.
Like the road is flooded where I need to get home, funneling your change. I don't have anything. The road is literally washed away. I eventually made my way to the spot where Issa was.
I saw the video you sent us.
Dragged him in the car and said, Sport at 10 viewers have to see you tonight. Flood or no flood, your car is not going to get home, Issa, but you will get to studio. Put him in the boot and we left.
And that just tells the viewers the great lengths that we try to go to try and give them a great show every Wednesday on SABC1 Sport at 10.
Yeah, it's nothing is too big to make sure that we get our guests to studio. Issa was complaining. You know, he's got all that hair. He's like, I have to do my hair. I need to go change. I haven't been home from training. I said, I don't want to hear it. I'm picking you up. We're coming to studio.
If you look at him, I think by the grace of Bob Marley, he was able to
No, he's looking good. He's looking good. He's here. That's all we need. But let's talk about how Mamelodi Sundowns won the CAF Champions League in the wrong year.
They won the CAF Champions League in the wrong year simply because they've missed out on a bountiful of money. Missed out in the sense that by winning this edition, by beating Zamalek 3-1 on aggregate, Mamelodi Sundowns are going to get what, 1.5 million US dollars.
Yeah.
And next year,
in the region of 18 to 20
it's
million.
It's kind of like 80, 20 million, yes.
Rand.
But CAF had a meeting in Cairo at their headquarters at the end of September, I think September 27. And one of the resolutions that they came up with was that they are going to have a waterfall of money for all their competitions. Starting now with the African Cup of Nations, they are going to give the winners of that competition a it's going to be like what? 50 million rands. That's 4 million, increasing from 1.5.
50 million rand if you win.
50 million rand if you win the the Nations Cup in Gabon next year. We are not going to. We are not going to. But also, it doesn't end there. Those who finish in the top places and all of that, there's going to be some money going to everyone just for being there. And for Champions League, it's going to go up from $1.5 to 2.5, which is basically 33 million. So
33
it means
million rand if you win the Champions League.
Need to make sure that they do well because they've already qualified for it again. Remember, Peter kept on telling everybody who cared to listen that they are just having fun in this edition. And guess what? Boy, oh boy, they went on to win it all. But now next season is going to be the one where he really takes it seriously. And if they do get it, they're going to get 33 million. And you know the rule at Sundowns. Patrice Motsepe doesn't need all the change. It's small change for him. It goes to Peter Mosimane right up to the last member of the team in the squad of players at Sundowns.
So there you have it. CAF finally pushing out the money to where it deserves to be, in the hands of the players and the associations for the big tournaments that CAF is hosting.
And not only that, the prize money is going to filter down also to the winners of the CAF Confederations Cup as well as the winners of CHAN.
Now, let's move on to the other big story. There's a picture that's become absolutely famous with Makhaya Ntini doing a worshipping of the turf. Everyone who follows cricket knows that picture. We had a photocopy of it happen recently.
Makhaya Ntini, you're talking about him going down on the turf, kissing the pitch, and this was at the home of World Cricket at Lord's in England. Now, that was when he was the first South African to be able to get a haul of 10 wickets in a match. And in celebration, in saying that I acknowledge that which has happened to me, he did that. Now, at the Waka in Australia, his name is Kagiso Rabada. He is blazing the trail. He is the cricketer in world cricket right now. Everyone is talking about him. After getting himself a 5-hole wicket, he did what? He went down to the ground, and as you watch him there, kissing it, giving thanks, praising, and you look back to 2003, Makhaya Ntini did the very same thing. And this is something that you really have to celebrate. And I think that players like Kagiso Rabada, players like Themba Bavuma are giving a kick in the teeth to all the naysayers, to all the people who say that they are just there because they are quota players. All we've asked for, all we've ever said was that cricket and rugby in South Africa were sports that were lily white, where some of us, the majority of the people in the country, were not even allowed to touch the sport with a badge pole. And when they are given a chance, they are showing you that we are not being done a favor here. We really belong in the team. And right now, you saw the run out, that Bavuma, that catch, that fielding, super piece of fielding, one of the greatest that the world of cricket has ever seen. So big ups to Kagiso. It is wonderful, and long may that form continue as they go to Hubbard. They are leading the test series 1-0, by the way, and it is a 3-test series. If they win in Hubbard, and it's over, and they will become only the first team to beat Australia in 3 successive test matches. The last team to do that. Do you remember? The West Indies. The great team of the West Indies of 1980s.
Now, Rabada does well. He takes the 5 wickets for just over 90 runs in that test match against Australia. He kisses the turf. And in the Australian commentary booth, now, the commentators there are talking amongst themselves. The host asks one of the analysts, he says, where did he get his pace? How did he develop, Kagiso, so much pace?
And allow me
Ian Chappell is one of the greats in cricket. He had to answer that question. What did he say?
Then Ian Chappell says you're going to have to ask the batsman in his village. Let me say that slowly. He says, if you want to know something about Kagiso Rabada's batting, you have to ask, bowling, you have to ask the batsman.
That's Ian Chappell, the man in the red tie.
That's the man with the red tie.
His response is, ask in his village, the batsman, how he got so quick and how his pace came up. Twitter went crazy after that.
I think I'm going to go crazy on behalf of anyone who's not on Twitter. Listen here, Ian, whoever you are. Kagiso Rabada does not come from some village. Not every black man that you come across comes from a village in Africa, in a dark continent. Kagiso Rabada was born in Johannesburg, okay? In Johannesburg. Tell me the school he went to.
He went to St. Stithians, one of the more exclusive schools in the city.
And also his father is a neurosurgeon.
A brain surgeon.
So maybe he needs to examine this Ian Chappell's man. He needs to get the mind of that guy. It has got to come to a stop. At some stage, the world must realize that black people and excellence can be mentioned in the same sentence. Take nothing from Kagiso Rabada in what he's done. Celebrate his achievement as a cricketer, because you are one of the greats of the game. For you to come up with such ignorance, for you to come up with something that is laced with racism, because basically every black person you come across, imagine how he sees the original people of Australia, the Aborigines, and how he treats them.
Looking at some of the comments that came on Twitter right after Ian Chappell said that obviously South Africans were watching. Uncaptured says, this is the village in SA that KG comes from, with a big picture of Johannesburg. And then he says, Ian Chappell, shove your racist comment where you think the sun shines. And that was one of the comments. Then we go here to Neil Manthorpe, a well-known journalist. He says, so Johannesburg doesn't qualify as a village. Staggering, isn't it? Surprised that they didn't ask who was looking after his herd while he was here in Australia.
That was one of the best tweets for me there. But the thing is, we must just make it clear. It is not going to happen. We are not going to allow a 21-year-old young man who's doing great in the sports and doing so well to be insulted and reduced to nothing by somebody who cannot just give credit to where credit is due.
And at Trent Slats killed me with this comment on Twitter right after Ian's comment. He says, some first-class casual racism from Chappell. Do they not have Google in your village, Ian? So yeah, could just
there's my passing shot.
Just to check where Johannesburg
Chappell
is.
and this kind can please go bungee jumping without a rope around their ankles and see if they're going to come back.
Yo, that's some tough stuff there. Anyway, I think one thing is for sure. Ian Chappell will not make the mistake of calling any African bowler, cricketer, sportsman, anything as having come from a village, because
no Christmas
Twitter has no chill and BBK has no chill either. So now moving on to our last news story we've got for you, and this comes around the World Cup. A lot of us already know World Cup 2022 will be in Qatar. The other thing that's a little bit unusual about it, one, is that it is going to be in the wrong time of the year.
For the first time, the World Cup is going to be played in winter. The reason for that is that temperatures in Qatar can go to the maximums of 40, 45 at any given rate. You do not want to be seeing your world football superstars collapsing on the pitch. So FIFA, when they awarded this thing, there was a great controversy about bribes and all of that, but the other controversy was done by the fact that the dates are going to be changed.
And when you mean winter, you're talking about the European winter, because it's not necessarily, because the World Cup in South Africa was in winter.
But that's why I sent you to the
European winter.
I sent you to the best schools to be able to make this clear clarification. But the issue here is not even that. The biggest issue also is that we must also know that Qatar is a very conservative Muslim country. And that means that alcohol is not something that you readily drink on the streets in public places. Now, the man who's in charge of what you may call the local organizing committee of Qatar, his name is Hassan Al-Tawadi, has issued a statement to say there's going to be no alcohol consumption in any public spaces, on the streets and all of that. And you will think that a stadium will be a public place. Now, if you've been to the World Cups, and as many times that you've been, we were in Germany, we were in South Korea and all of that, we were here, right here at home. The fact is, one of the main sponsors of FIFA is an American beer company called Budweiser. And they call the shots. The FIFA sponsors call the shots. And every World Cup that you've been to, there's always beer flowing. Now, in Qatar, in Qatar indeed, you are able to drink your alcohol at the hotel. You cannot bring alcohol into the country. Now, many people, when they travel to a soccer tournament, they like to take their own things because the prices always go up, for the main reason that there is a tournament and it's either you buy what you can there or
let's just be fair, Lana, BBK.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. When we go to Qatar, and Minangpuzi, so I'm not stressed.
Okay.
I'm going to arrive there, I'm going to watch the games, and no one is going to be ngotshwala while celebrating a goal. So for me, I'm saying thumbs up Qatar.
But this is not a Thomas World Cup. There are millions of people who are going to come from
all celebrate.
They are going to come from all over. You know what? All the criticism, once the World Cup time comes around, those people are going to descend on Qatar. They want to watch football. And you know as well as I do that people who do crack a few cold ones, even if when they're sitting in their houses watching football, there's going to be something flowing. And it is the case wherever the World Cup has been played. And it's going to be a problem.
Why are you talking on behalf of the cracking of the cold ones?
Well, I don't drink beer myself, but I do have the amber-colored nectar of the gods when I'm not working. So it is not going to be a problem. Even as journalists, once you've done and finished all your work and you've met all your deadlines, you do want to
push more. Chance for friendly drink. Work more.
Let's
now introduce to you South Africa's one and only sports comedian, undefeated in every single bout that he has been in. 3.5 years right here on SABC Sport. He is the Shampunizer. Tips and tones. Tips, before we get too far, I know you're going to be doing some live bouts. 2 live bouts coming up. We are going Mabatu. You're going to be at Carousel, eh?
No, Murulasan.
Murulasan.
Yes, but Bagumafigeng. 26 November, I'm coming for you, Mabatu Convention Center, and then Murulasan the following week. It's a homecoming. That's where I started comedy. So I'm going back at 2 December. You guys would know. You can go buy tickets where they sell tickets. But 26 November, Mabatu Convention Center. 2 December, Murulasan. But wago hai, saragalo buzala regala swengela. Double BK, kipala kuna mela mo landa labona lenar pahan. Yes, yeah, I know it's
what's wrong?
Yeah, so it's a marathon. Yeah, okay, level let's get that tile for. It's pins and needles. Yeah, in Shabile, no, so it's a marathon. Another one won by a foreigner. I blame everyone in Soweto who did not participate. People of Soweto, you are involved in this race, Joe. You were supposed to bring necessary distractions. Moto Ashiana, every corner, Moto Anyao, Penotile. Boso, arugin mates. Not a mate, I get la bofela di tabo, boso. The distraction. Oh, another thing, Hatelago Bara, taxi drivers, block the road, Joe. For no reason, Hatamular, we won. 4-4, Baba. 4-4, we won. You know, like we need distractions. So the best one that you could have done, because you are so way to bring like Orlando Pirates players, Kokonenda, and get someone before Ataro. Sorry, Baba, you can't run here. People are mourning, eh? I mean, like people are mourning, so. Here's what we should do. From here up until that corner, you should take 6 steps every 1 minute. You understand? Like necessary distractions, and make sure Gala blame us away to marathon. But anyway, he's an Ethiopian guy. We understand he has a relative in some Sparasa shop. That's what we do. Like we are one now. We are one. Can we acknowledge the fact that Kaizer Chiefs lost to Free State Stars? Free State Stars. This team was sold and by their back, so he lost to a reject. We need to put this thing they never stay. Yeah? Next thing
it was Amper Swallows.
Gone, and then
they lost to Amper Swallows.
No, you know, we lost the Telkom Cup because we couldn't connect. Like Raoud on Squanyana, Babu Zawa Free State Stars, and that Nakbazo was a Makabatile Mane, Banka Makuve, Arabatuel and Tahabashu. That's Kwasa Compella Habashu or Dairoch. Because Kwasa Sutubari, Dairojin that the Dairoj, Habashu and that the Chiefs you lost to Free State Stars, Madam Fit. How woman. And then we have that team that has a star. Is it too bright, sir? The only team that can beat Sundowns is Sundowns. Balibon is super sport. Babon is a star, but train agadi sunglass. Train agadi sunglass. They were playing like desert. Yeah, letang. Hey, bono, woman. What is the more Sundowns? Woman, and they have so much money now. I bet you get there. You won't have to game about Labai Pumla 50 rand. They tried everything. That is not even worth everything. By Pumla 50 rand, they tried. No, things were not going well. Sundowns. The referee Julian, I'm well, and I live in Letzamobango, offside. Man, they tried singing Asambe, no, I was like, guys, now every time you lose a Libitan, Nagala Pile, but Nagisilo, no, Gilona, no, Sundowns, no, Lemesari penal, La Fo, Ulebarka yellow, and he thought, give the ball to anyone wearing yellow. Yeah, but let me just put this into perspective. This is what's happening in Sundowns. They lose it. People who missed penalties were Villa, Ntete, Lafo, V, N, L. That's Zulu. What does that mean? Velenia lose.
Yo. Anyway, let's just leave it there for now. Yo. Let's get on to what you can engage in and tell us what you think as regarding Bafana. Can Bafana beat Senegal? It's not even important. You know, that word there is not even giving enough of how huge this is. How crucial home World Cup qualifier against the Teranga Lions of Senegal. It's so big. And what we've got later on in the show is Issa Sarr, who will also give us an insight into whether that is possible. Can we do what is necessary to do against Senegal? Senegal are ranked number 2 in Africa, a powerhouse. Lots of players who can put the ball in the back of the net. So give us your perspective on that. This team, Shakes Mashaba has also done another thing where he's gone away from the youth a little bit. He's just saying, like, hey, EU things are born. Experience for now. Let's try and get those points in the bag. It's time.
Yeah? We were not in Brazil. We have to be in Russia. By any means necessary, which means that we cannot do what we did in the 2017 AFCON qualifiers. Home games, non-negotiable, sacrosanct. You must win.
Youth.
You being Bafana.
Youth.
Back. The thing is, we've played Senegal 7 times. We are locked. They won 2, we've won 2, and the other 3 were draws. And this Senegal team wants to do something special. Issa Sarr knows back there. The last time a Senegalese team did something great at the World Cup, 2002, Korea, Japan. The very first game that they played, they beat who? The world champions then, France. Okay, they went all the way to emulate Cameroon, who were the first African team to do what? To reach the quarterfinals, and Ghana achieved the very same thing here. So it's been a long time in Senegal since something great happened with Abo Diop, Nabo Papadom, the big goal troops and all of that. So this generation, with Sadio Mane in tow, they want to make sure that they do give joy to the Senegalese. We must make sure that we win our games here at home.
BBK has lots of insight in that Senegalese team, but so does Issa Sarr. He's from there. He's been called up to the national team before by this very coach, and he plays here in South Africa. So who better to bring in to give us an idea of what we can expect on Saturday from Senegal? Stay with Sport at 10.
When deciding what to cook, it's easy to get stuck on beef and lamb, but pork is a great alternative.
Checkers says their farmstead pork is top-notch. We'll see.
Let's cook.
Pork belly roast melts in your mouth. Gorgeous, crispy, crackling.
If I said porterhouse, fillet or ribeye, you'd think beef. Wrong. Think Checkers pork.
Succulent pork rub, one of the trickiest cuts for a butcher.
Farmstead pork, an impressive result. Approved.
This is the science of tough. Brutal torture tests designed to challenge the Ford Ranger's capability and durability. Built to take on the world, they were thrown in the deep end. Driven to the limits, analyzed, and then tested some more. We raised the ante and dropped a few surprises. The science of tough is all the proof you need that the Ford Ranger is tough, done smarter. There was a young man who sure liked to rumble. He dreamed big, but his roots kept him humble. He knew actions more than words made him a man. So he came up with a new plan. Over the years, his rumble showed the world he was an original fellow. A man who set the standard others follow.
More lives here, in those who are never satisfied with what is, in the student who dreams of becoming more. More lives in the office worker who says, I am more than this. More lives and dies and rises again. It lives beyond the fear that stops us from becoming more, because the more you know, the more you can become. Fundi, education funding that enables your ambition.
Extra cold in half the time. The new Quick Chill 12-pack.
Welcome back. Now, what have you got as far as the social media side of things are concerned? Best Mokolwa says, yes, Thomas, as long as Sheikh's starting lineup has the best players in it, we can win over the weekend. But who are those best players? That's the key that we need in terms of the information. And then Peter Tiane says, Bafana can win the games against Senegal if they unite as players and stop focusing on the mistakes that have been made in the past. So there's an interesting one. And do I have one more for you? Yeah, you guys are just laughing at tips here. Let me introduce you, Issa Sarr, Orlando Pirates holding midfielder, also a man who's played with the national team of Senegal, called up by this coach, in fact. Issa, welcome to Sport at 10. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm glad you made it, man. I mean, how was the weather out here getting here?
It was very bad.
You nearly didn't make it?
Yeah.
Was it really that bad?
Yeah, very bad, very bad.
What did you see out there?
Yeah, the river was blocking the route there. We couldn't go. I couldn't reach home.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Swim, Issa. Shoot.
In the morning, I couldn't get home.
Impossible to get there.
No.
Let's talk a little bit about Senegal. Your home. Where are you from? I don't even know how to say the name of your town. TS?
No, they say TS, but me, I'm from Dakar.
You're from Dakar, but,
yeah,
where did TS come from?
TS is my village, like it's where we come from. But me, I born in Dakar.
Yeah.
But my family is born in Thiès, from Thiès.
And then you decide at what age that you're going to play football and eventually end up in South Africa. What was the story?
Yeah, the story was I was at school. My family don't want I play soccer. They want maybe someone in the office. I was good at school. I went to university 4 years after. I decided by myself. Now I have to talk my family and have to play soccer.
And then ending up in South Africa. You know, it's not common for Senegalese players to come here.
Yeah, it's true. Because I went in overseas and after it didn't work. But I was having something maybe after 6 months. Now my agent said me, come to Chippa and help them for 6 months and you go back. And there I come to help Chippa, and from there a lot of teams want me, 4 or 5 teams in South Africa want me. And there my agent say, why not, you can try here and see.
You were called up by Coach Cisse to the national team. It wasn't long ago, 2015. How did that go?
Yeah, they know me from a national team in Senegal because I was playing in the local team. I was the best player in the tournament West Africa. We played it there in Senegal. I was one of the best players in the tournament, and I was playing. Some of the players also was there, and from there also I got a lot of contact. And when I play in Parade, before Parade was playing in Chippa, Platinum, they're always watching me, but they say they are a small team. Yeah, must have to a big team or must move to South Africa and go to overseas. Now I come to Parade and we do well in Africa. I was buzzing. Now they say, hey, this boy is ready now for national team. Now they call me.
Not an easy national team to get called up to.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to become a Teranga
Senegal. Not at all in Senegal. I'm the 1 or 2 who play in Africa.
Yeah. Even now, the squad that's here in South Africa only has 2 players based in Africa, and they're both the reserve goalkeepers.
Yes, the one we have like a quota in Senegal. We always have to take 1 or 2 players from our leagues in Senegal. But the others was here long time. If play even that Afghan that we didn't do well. That Afghan, he was here before a long time, more than 5 years in the national team.
So, as we look at some of your performances that were instrumental in getting you to be with that national team, you weren't called up this time.
Yeah, the coach was calling me. He always have a touch with me. Even before the first game against Cape Verde, he called me. He said, you are pre-select, like we have maybe 26 or 27 players they reserve now, and they have to select maybe 20. He called me, asked me about how I'm doing and everything is good. I said, yeah, but when the season started, I didn't start with the team. And in Senegal, if you're not playing, you are out. That is, if you're not performing, you are out.
So that because you weren't playing in the Pirates team, he said, I can't really bring you to the team now.
Yeah, I have to communicate with you and tell you. It's how it's work. He's a nice coach. He know what's doing, and he's very smart also. He's looking all over in the world, looking for players who can help him. It's how he's doing.
So that's why you're not in this squad. You only just came into the team with Mushinetugal lately. So what can you tell us about the team that Cisse has selected for Saturday? What makes this team dangerous? Why are they number 2 in Africa?
Yeah, you know, like the coach is a hard worker. Even you can see when he was playing in national team, Coach Aliou Cissé, he was the captain. And he's very hard worker. It's like, even his job, he don't take his job lightly, take it very serious. And he was, in national team, we have like a target. Was what you wanted before first top 5 first. And we get it now, he's looking for big 3 like in Africa.
He's
and
already there, number 2 in Africa.
Yes, and we don't take lightly our game. Like even friendly is everything, we don't take it light. We have to go and we always have to win. We don't even think about draw or lose. And other things also, the team, like how can I say, like the most players, you get them in, he was coaching them in Olympic, like most of them. He was second coach before. He was like
an assistant for the Olympic team.
Yes.
So he knows them from a long time.
Yes, he knows from a long time. And from there, he make it like the spine. I don't know who call it, spine of the team. Like so if you have 6 or 5 players was playing with him, was his coach before 5 years before.
If I had to ask you, and maybe Shakes was sitting here as well, and you had to give advice, and you said, if there's one guy or 2 guys in this team that Bafana have to be most worried about?
I think in Senegal, you must worry about everybody.
No, but it can't be
You know why? You know what I'm saying? Like us, we can score in the opening game, and we can score in set pieces. That is the other things.
Set pieces.
Set pieces, corner and free kick, everything.
But we also score goals. I mean, look, I can show you goals that we've scored against Senegal. Have a look at these as I debate with Issa here. And Senegal also has been able to find the back of the net against us over the years that have gone by. It is a dangerous team. And one of the things that's a real strength of the Senegal team is the strike force. Sadio Mane is in this team, the Liverpool striker. He is here in South Africa. Everybody's talking about him. Is he the real danger?
Yeah, he's the real danger. But, you know, like in Senegal, before was having one side was buzzing. But now you have another side with João Baldé Keita, that other boy.
So now, it's Mane and Keita that we need to worry about.
Because us, we're not like focusing in the like striker to score, like the number 9 to score. They can score, all of them. If you check our score, it's not only the number 9 score, it's them, like the wingers. They come in and score. When you watch our game, also they are Sadio Mane. Every game, you're going to score and you're going to assist also.
There's also another guy I'm a little bit worried about. Tell me about Kalidou Koulibaly at the back.
Yeah, that one is...
plays for Napoli.
Yeah, that one I can see is the boss of the team.
He's the boss now.
Yeah, he's the boss of the team. And even Senegal, we say it is the king. Him is the king is controlling everything.
The big centre back.
Yeah, it's not the big centre back. The other big centre back is the Karamboj, the one with the.
So what makes Koulibaly the king?
Yeah, because him he's not like exciting players. His thinking, his anticipate everything, his tackle is everything is like he's make sure everything is like proper.
So who do we have? Because you know the South African players. What do we have in the national team of South Africa that can destabilize what you're talking about? A king at the back in Koulibaly. Mane up front is dangerous. You've told me about Keita, who's young and exciting. What can we bring to this game that can give us some advantage?
Yeah, but if you watch South Africa, like in the AFCON, there was very there was knocking the ball. There was playing South Africa football, like enjoying football, enjoying like doing whatever they're thinking. And it was all Africa know them. Everyone was talking about them. I think they must bring back that things.
Just play the ball.
Just playing the ball, like knocking around.
Gassy flavor, South African flavor.
Yeah, what do they have? You can't like leave your strengths. Senegal have their own strengths, and then they will not gonna change it. They will not gonna change it. It's their football. Now, for me, the way they was playing in AFCON, they must bring. But if they're playing the same football like they was playing like in the last 3 games, I'm worried.
What kind of football is that? What's not working?
They was not convincing. Like the last 3 games, I don't know. There was not. If they come with that things, Senegal gonna beat them. Score. It's gonna score. It's gonna be 2 or 3.
That match?
Yeah.
So we must keep the ball, play the ball like we normally do, enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
That's the advice that you have.
Yeah, because if you give the ball to Senegal, what you supposed to do? If you don't do it, Senegal gonna keep the ball and do it.
That dangerous a team.
Yes.
Except when I look at Senegal and I say, but, you know, we played them. It's been not a case of Senegal always beats South Africa. And it's also not a team that always goes on and wins tournaments. Senegal have been, as much as they are a good nation in Africa, at the Africa Cup of Nations have only got to the final once in history and didn't win.
Yeah, but it's true. If you see, like, we go to final in the AFCON against Mali. Mali beat us, I think, in a penalty, and we go to quarterfinal World Cup. That's all you have. But that mistake we don't want to do anymore. That mistake we don't want to do it anymore, because if we have that coach, he didn't achieve a lot of things in football with national team. Is that hunger is bring back to the players to show them we couldn't make it, but you have that talent and you have that hunger to make it.
You know, and you're looking at some of the players in the Bafana squad here. Is there a key man for Bafana? A position that you think he needs to do very well on the day?
Yeah, I think so. I think if Makola plays game, and if you're shooting, maybe if he...
But he's your teammate. Are you just saying that?
No. Because if you watch our previous game, the last game we played in the Nelson Mandela Challenge. For me, they didn't even expect him.
Against Ghana?
No, against Senegal.
Oh, that last
game, you beat us 1-0.
Yeah.
They didn't expect Makola, because as we watch video, watch everything, watch what is your strength, what is your weakness, everything, watch it. But that time, Makola was not in the national team, like he was not like regularly. They didn't watch him properly. That's why he's shooting from far. I think if you bring that his range, maybe going to disturb.
But we also have a strong player like Gekana. We can be physical. Can we not take the physical game to Senegal? Try and be strong and tackle and hard?
But you can, I can tell you, Senegalese players, the typical players, is strong. We are strong. Senegalese.